Nice. Well, like, love that. And that's the other part, right? I was talking to somebody this last week. I was in Chicago and we were talking about, we were talking about collaboration versus competition, right? And that's really easy to fall into, especially when you're in real estate, right? Like you're looking out for your own, looking out for your own deals. And this is where people are generally like covering up the answers to their test. But like when we start shifting that mindset, all right, and we realize that business is abundance, right? And that you need to find the right clients that fit with you. Like every client is not the right one. Talk to two different REO agents that are like, look, I think I'm going to fire this client. And I was like, look, I understand they're kind of a pain in the ass. And I think there will be a time when you can fire clients. I don't know if right now is that time, right? Like there's not enough business, like bite your tongue, work through it. Don't take it so personally, right? Because these folks are not trying to like screw you over or anything like that. But figure out if you can work through it. Because like I said, if you have business, if you've had business in the past couple of years, be super grateful for it. But I appreciate all of the participation and stuff there. Anybody else got anything that they're like, that they just need to share with the group?
I go for it.
What's that?
First sponsorship this week.
Oh, get after it, bro. Man, like just a lot of growth and stuff up there. And that's coming up there from Reno, Nevada. So congrats, man. Because now you've had your first closing. You have what? Like you've had your first two REOs up there in Reno. Is that right?
2 BPOs to start. Nothing came of them, but I got my first buyer. I'm working my first listing, and now I have an agent that I'm working with, and it's been since December. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Keep building the pipeline and stuff there. That's for sure. Like just keep going through it. Well, man, love all of the success, all of the things that are happening and stuff, guys. Stay the course and stuff there for sure. So, we were supposed to have somebody else on that, I mean, canceled yesterday. And so, rather than trying to rush and find something, here's the thing. I've coached and trained some of the top agents in the country. This past weekend when I was in Chicago, right? I spent 2 days with Mark Demas, the #1 agent on Wall Street Journal. Last year, he closed 3,200 deals, right? So I've had this beautiful opportunity to have coaches and mentors myself, like Mike Ferry, like Tom Ferry, right? Get to go to masterminds with Jake Hinder and Leo Pareja. I get to do business with all of you guys who are literally the top producers in the country, in your local areas and stuff like that. And through going through Tony Robbins and everything else that I've done, you start to notice patterns, right? Like this isn't luck, right? This wasn't luck, this was destined, right? And so there was some traits and stuff that I started thinking, I was like, all right, well, what the hell are we going to talk about here today? And so I was like, just trying to think about like what success is, what it is. And so as I started going through all of these different people, I noticed like 5 things that really stood out. And so I was like, that's it. That's what we're going to talk about. Because as all of you guys are already successful in your own right, if you want to grow bigger, what got you here will not get you to there, right? And this is where we have to constantly be changing, adapting, growing, right? I see Wendy Martin on here. We're building some companies on the evaluation side of things and stuff right now, and it was good, right? Like when we started, but every step, it's just getting better and better and better and better here. And so this is constantly what we have to do with our business plans and stuff as well. But I wanted to share these things with you because if you don't notice these yourself, sometimes it's really easy to get caught in the rut or just in the thick of things, right? It's hard to see like any light when you're inside the forest type thing, because all you see is trees around you and stuff like that. And this is where, you know, sometimes you can learn that from other people and go. So one of the first things that I noticed with all of my mentors was the relentless clarity of what they wanted to accomplish. They know exactly what they want, and they make a decision through that lens as if it's already happened. They're not like, you know, their self-talk is like, oh, this would be so nice if this happened. Like, oh, I wish this was happened. Literally, I don't know if it's arrogance. I don't know if it's confidence. Like, I don't know what the word is. I know some people get offended or scared by it. Don't fucking hang around with those people, right? Those are going to be the people that pull you back. If they're like, that's not possible, fuck you. Like, it's only impossible until it is not. Like, this is, but you have to know what you want. Like, and have this clarity of what it looks like, what it feels like, what it tastes like. How is your family going to react? Who are your friends that you're going to tell that are going to be like, damn, I knew you could do it. These are all of the situations that are running through their head. And lots of times when they accomplish it, they actually don't celebrate because they knew this shit was happening. It's not a surprise to them when it happens, right? And every step along the way, those roadblocks, those obstacles that come in, like those were just lessons that they needed to learn in order to get to the end. So they set this vision that others can run with, and they stay the course. It is so easy, and I'm guilty of it too, to get torn off to that shiny object, right? Oh, Zillow has a spot open. Like, online leads were never a part of your business plan to begin with. What do you care? You didn't have a budget for online leads. Like, this is where, when you have that clarity and you create that business plan that is dialed in, so you know what to do each day, each week, each month, you stay the course. And we've talked about this so many times. Like, success is not sexy, it's consistent. And this is where it's doing the same shit over and over and over because you know it works. And where your focus goes, your energy flows. This is where, tell people what your goals are, right? Have people hold you accountable. The more you tell it to yourself, the faster it's going to happen. The more other people check in on you, the more other people hold you accountable, the faster it's going to happen. So that is number one, guys, is the relentless clarity of what they are going to accomplish as if it's already done. That's number one. Number two is a system first thinking approach. And so what I mean by that is that if you can't scale it, like if it can't scale, then if you can't scale it, then it's all on your shoulders. You are the only one, and that creates a cap on your income. That creates a cap on your growth and happiness and everything else. So when you create systems, and this is where I fell in love with default, because I realized that I could have one client that gave me 10 deals, 20 deals, 30 deals, 50 deals, 100 deals in some cases. That was much easier than talking to 100 clients that could give me one deal every 8 to 12 years. So I saw a business opportunity. I saw that they generally worked banker's hours, right? 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Generally don't work on the weekends. Now there's exceptions, there's every company and asset manager and stuff like that. But this made a duplicatable system when you have this listing inventory. Now I could have open house agents. I could have buyer's agents. I could have listing agents that when I help them grow, I'm growing as well. And that is a business to me. something that's making money, whether you go to work or not. It's growing. I could leave for 3 months right now with relatively no disruption in what we have going. I couldn't stop the momentum now if I wanted to. And that is a beautiful thing, right? This success, it isn't magic. It's math, it's knowing your numbers, it's having a structure, right? And that's where that business plan comes in, and it's executing it every single day, right? And this is where that first bubble there, right? Is that they build these systems that win without their constant presence. Now, how many of you guys have tried to build a group, build a team, bring on an admin, bring on a buyer's agent, and it wasn't the same as you? Raise of hands in the chat box. If you've ever tried to grow a team or something, this probably happens because you have it a specific way. Maybe you are able to do it in 30 or 45 minutes, and it takes somebody else 2 hours. You are different. If they had all of your experience and stuff, they wouldn't be on your team. They would be running their own team, but they don't have that yet, which is where that partnership comes in. But I can tell you, right, and I'm just, I see Jared Ruffner on my screen, so that's why I'm talking about him here. But I can tell you, I have a pretty damn good idea what Jared Ruffner's time is worth. It is probably more advantageous for him to pay somebody else if it took 2-3 times as long than for him to do it himself. Because I know what his hourly wage is, as long as it gets done. And then, well, it's not like I do it the best, I do it that. That is your growth opportunity, because that is your fixed mindset style of thinking. What if somebody else did it 80 or 90% as good to start with, right? And then that's all they did every single day. They're going to catch up and surpass you. I want to surround myself with people that are better than me in each of these states, that are better than me at this, and that they have a specialty, right? And they like, that's who I want to surround myself with. My accountant, he doesn't have two careers, right? My wealth manager does not have 2 careers. That is their singularity of focus. And we have talked about with clarity what my expectations are and how we create that plan in order to get there. They're not Uber driving. They're not this. They're not that. They're good. They are the best at what they do. And that is why I go to them. That is where I want people to come to me, right? Like, I want to create this wedge for this REO and default space as this market continues to turn. Like, look, if you're going to touch a default transaction, like, I want it to have like ran through one of our clients in one way, shape, or form. People thought I was crazy with that vision. And now that we have 8 different asset management companies, right? Like, it's impossible until it's done. And here's the thing, it takes goddamn time. Like, this was a 7-year journey, right? Like, if I ever have Eric Delgado back on again, right, from MCM Capital, right, after I left Carrington, right, he flies me out to Bethesda, Maryland. I'm sitting down in the conference room with the founders of MCM Capital, which is a $2.7 billion fund of non-performing notes. I'm sitting here looking at the most obnoxious conference table I've seen in my life, because I swear it fits 50 seats around it. I was like, you guys have to have a goddamn intercom just to talk to the other side. Like, it was the largest table I've ever seen. And they wanted me to come and run their company. And I tried to flip them because I thought their business model sucked. Like, I knew their pitfalls. Their inventory was going down. It was a losing battle. And so literally when I tried to flip them, they kicked me out of their office, right? Like Eric was like, look, I think this meeting's over. And he did not talk to me for 2 years. I literally followed up with him quarterly. And at first it was small talk. And then like there was probably a year that he didn't talk to me once. But again, I had clarity of what the vision looked like for this future. It wasn't there yet, but I had this clarity, I had this vision, and I knew I had to just stay the course and stay in front of him. And so one day I texted him, and it'd be interesting if I could go back and actually find this screenshot because I have the rough about days, but I asked, I was like, bro, do you not love me anymore? Like the amount of drinks and memories that we've shared, but like, do you not love me? Like, can you just say hi? My feelings are starting to get hurt. And he literally texted me. He's like, you motherfucker. And I was like, wow, that's aggressive, right? But like, I've branded myself. Like, I don't know where he's going at this point. And he's like, we were just talking about shutting down the brokerage. And I was like, why would you do that? I've been telling you for years, like, I don't want to work for you. I want to work with you. Like, partner with me. You guys add a ton of value, but different states, different regions, right? It goes up and down. Like, let's talk to all of our partners that we work with. And now, literally, they came over, like, they shut down their brokerage. They had 17 agents left. At one point, they had 300. Fast forward 2.5 years later, when there's not even an REO cycle right now, they're up to almost 300 agents again. They have I reduced their overhead from $80,000 a month down to $12,000 a month. I didn't eliminate their expenses, but we did a pretty good job with that. They have no obligations. They have no liability, right? So it was this clarity of vision, like creating this plan of who the partners needed to be and how we were going to attack them and going after that relentlessly, even when somebody's like, oh, no, I no longer want to buy a home. I no longer want to sell a home. Oh, I'm already working with an agent. And like, do you like that agent? Do they add value to you? Like, are you asking the right questions at the end of the day? So this scalability, this system first type of thinking, so that you can duplicate yourself. And as inventory is lower today, now is the time where you need to be building out your systems, your statements of work, your SOWs, your SOPs, your processes, your procedures. Like, do you have it documented what your buyer's agent should do, what your admin should do, what this should do, right? One, do you know what they should do? That's the first step. Two, is it documented? Three, you want to level up, create a video showing what exactly you need it to look like. You can do all of those things, and now you're not dependent. If somebody leaves you, right, it can be up and running. Maybe not right away, but really quickly, faster than it was before. This is the time that we have to start working on that. Then, when you're not dependent on somebody, now you just do business with the people that you want to see grow, that you want to see grow with you. So think about that. System first. Oh man, this is an interesting one, especially in our space, right? The emotional agility. And this is one that I kind of went back and forth with on, like, do I even include this in the slide? And this is where, because I've seen some really successful people, and for those of you that are not on camera, I'm using air quotes on this. I've seen some really successful people, right, that are hotheads, that have these huge ass egos and this and that. And the reason that I put successful in quotations is because they made a lot of money, but they weren't necessarily happy, right? They were walking around angry as hell. Just as we talked about before on clarity, you have to figure out what your definition of success is and what you're working for. You know, it may not be more deals. It might be more time back in your life. It might be better relationships and stuff. Look, I have a lot of fun with what I do. I make a lot of money in real estate and stuff like that. But real estate allows me the financial freedom to do the other things that I'm really passionate about. So I'm not disappointed in real estate or anything like that. But you'll be hard pressed to see me like working odd hours and this and that unless I want to. Like I've taken a lot of calls with you guys because this doesn't feel like work when you're building with your friends and stuff like that. Right? It's not a job, it's not a chore. So I wish that for all of you guys, right? Is that you have that same passion and that love for what you guys are doing. But when we talk about this, you know, that gets people to certain points, but you'll see them changing companies and this, and right, it's always something else. Right. And this is where I found like the really high level ones, right? Like when there's pressure, like they're not freaking out, right? Like what would you do if you're a flight attendant? Right, you looked out and saw one of your engines burning or something like that. And I know that's Wendy's worst nightmare and why she doesn't fly anywhere, right? But if like the flight attendant's like, oh my God, the engine's on fire, right? Like you're freaking out at that point in time. No, you want somebody that's like, look, guys, we've done this before. We have 2 backup engines. Everybody stay in their seat and doing this. We found an airport, right? Like I want a plan of what we are doing with some clarity and with some focus and stuff there. And I want somebody to lead me in that situation on what I need to do next. Your clients need the same thing. Your agent partners need the same thing, right? They need some guidance because they may not be where you're at. Conflict, right? If you're in my life, we probably don't have very much conflict. Because if we had conflict, you would probably not be in my life very long. I just don't deal with it. I've got to a point, I don't need to do business with everybody. So if you're on this call, if we're doing business together, it's because this is a mutually beneficial relationship and we're drama free, right? Like I cut my friends out every single year. I bring on some new ones. It's constantly this reevaluation process because I know what I want my life to look like here. They lead with stability, right? Going back to that flight attendant, right? There's never panic. There's never pressure or anything like that, right? They take a deep breath. And like this irritates some people. My wife, one particular, right? Like something comes up, like, it'll be okay. It'll always be okay. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But why again? Like, right? It frustrates the hell out of her. Like, I can't, like it's happened. I can't change it. What am I going to do moving forward? How am I going to adjust? How am I going to pivot? How am I going to control my actions? Because I can't control anybody else's. They say something to my kid. Look, I can address it. I can let it slide, right? And I'm good with either of those. If I address it, like that's it. I'm going to address it and then I'm going to bury the hatchet. I'm not going to carry this shit with me. It's not worth it. Most of the time, you carry this stress, right? You're mad that somebody cut you off on the freeway and you're pissed off for the next 30 minutes trying to catch back up to them and stuff like that. They don't even know they cut you off, right? They're late for an appointment. They're, they just found out their sister's going into labor or something. Like most of the time, right? Like let some shit go. And they don't react, right? They respond. Right? They sit down, they think about this. Take a breath before you have this knee-jerk reaction. Right? This is one of the things that frustrates me a lot with the United States right now is that everything is a goddamn knee-jerk reaction. Like from our leaders, like I don't care what side of the fence that you're on. Like, do you guys think about this? Like, do you guys think about the ripple effects? Like, of tweeting something like this or doing something like this and like what that ensues? Like take a step back. Like they need to be on this presentation, right? They need to have a clarity of focus, right? Like have some emotional agility and stuff there. Like you guys are supposed to be our leaders. Fucking act like it. You need to do the same thing for your clients, for the people and stuff that you surround yourself with. Like that's a huge piece. This one, again, I've seen a lot of people make money. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're successful. The biggest people that I've seen, like Tony Robbins, now has multiple billion-dollar businesses, right? At one point, like his goal was to feed 1 million homeless people in San Diego. They have so far surpassed that. And it started with 20, it started with 100, right? Like they elevate others and they attract this talent through impact, not ego. Like we don't have to work with everybody. Who do you want to work with? Constantly be looking for talent. Oh, well, they won't stay on my team. Great. Maybe you're a stepping stone to teach them something to get to the next level. I found that the more that you help others, right, the more you get helped in the same way, right? If you have 60 REO listings, right, you're feeding the title business, the escrow, lock boxes, sign installations, right? Buyer's agents, runners, contractors, right? You're helping a lot of other people in a time that they might be struggling and stuff like that. So look at the bigger picture of this. And, you know, we've talked about in the past, the more value that you add to others, the more valuable you become, and revenue follows that value, right? Their income reflects who they helped grow. Your income reflects how much value you have to you add to others. Let that sink in for a second. If you're not making the amount that you want, how do you add more value to others? Like step out of the way, stop looking for the angle, and start doing the things that are right and who you want to do them with. And this has always been our philosophy, right? Like, and I heard this. So I was sitting down with Mark Demas over the weekend, and you know, I've always said a rising tide raises all ships. He was like, Larry, a rising tide or a lowering tide shows you where the rocks are. And I was like, damn, that's good. Because yes, this rising tide raises all ships, but everybody's happy when the market's going like this. Everybody's happy when you're making money. When that tide starts to pull back and you see these rocks and pebbles, you start to see people's true colors, right? Like that email that I got yesterday. You're not giving me this. Huh? What? You're right. And I don't think I ever will. Like, that's not what I'm trying to build at this point in time. So think about that. People before profit. How are we helping other people grow? In the meantime, I do know that it's stressful not to have money, right? Like there was an 8-year stretch where my credit score was, shit, it might have been less than 500. I had foreclosures on my record. I had short sales on my record. I couldn't use bank accounts because I had made so much money and I lost all of it, right? And this is where, man, there were government programs and stuff that helped me through when I needed. There was people that helped me through, and I would not be the person I am today without that. And so think about that. Like everybody's going through some different situations. Have a little bit of empathy and stuff for others and what they're going through at this point in time. And be a damn human, right? Like practice what you preach at the end of the day. And like, if you guys work with me now, like you guys know this one. This is a chess move. This is a checkmate type situation that we're setting up here. Like with all of these different strategic partnerships. Like I was also, I spoke at Bob Norell's, he hosted a training event, which was awesome, by the way. Like I was sitting next to Sam from Detroit. I mean, this guy sold 10,000 homes and got called out and learned something. I was like, damn, Sam, when was the last time you actually learned something in an REO class? Like, that's different, right? And, you know, as we were doing this and as we were talking about this, like, that was strategic, right? Because Bob has done so much. Like, I probably drove, you know, 10 plus people to his class strategically because I want him to have a better network. I want I want to make sure he's successful on this side of things. And then I want to figure out how to do more business on the backside. It's not about sitting there like, Bob, can I have your assets and stuff like that, right? Like, no, like I know he's passionate about this. So let me feed into his passions because I feel like they align with mine, right? So you don't need to do it alone and you don't have to pretend to, right? If you guys called me and you were like, hey, Larry, I need this, I'm probably just guiding you to that person. I don't need to know that answer. I just need to know where to find that answer, right? They build tables, not thrones, right? And you start to stack these skills and relationships. These are assets, just as house, just as gold, silver, etc. And then the right alliance will outperform the individual every single time. And that's where we're constantly like, who's doing your rekeys? Who's doing your contracting? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Right? I sat down with another guy that's one of the top in Chicago, right? And he literally had like 15 different companies, right? Because he had done so much. He now had a contracting company, he had a tile company, he had an insurance company, and he had this and that, right? And he had different people running all of those companies. But the alliance that he had built, like, man, on every transaction, he was collecting 6 or 7 paychecks. Like, that's cool, right? How are you leveraging it? And that's where you learn from other people at this point in time. So I want you guys to think about, right? Like, this is where you have to know yourself. Like, what traits do you already have dialed in? Right? Don't change those, lean into those. And then, which ones do you need to build? Which ones are you missing? And this is where I would challenge a lot of you guys. And I would say, do you need to build it? Or do you need to find the right partners to build it? Because we will only get so far at this thing doing it by ourselves. And this is where, like, man, it's surrounding yourself with other top producers and stuff like that. And figuring out what that collaboration looks like, right? And not alienating other people. And like I said, just being kind of a good human, right? Like, this is not a hard thing, guys. Like, we all know the difference from right or wrong, right? Like, we've all known it. Like, it's an instinctual process. Like, there was things where our parents told us stuff and we're like, oh, but I think I could get away with this, right? You knew in your gut that was the wrong thing to do. And then when it went wrong, you were like, damn it, they told me this already, right? Like, why didn't I listen to them type thing? You can do the same thing here in the real estate side of the business, right? Like, you can surround yourself with others. You don't have to learn all of those lessons, even if you don't have, the experience and everything necessary. So I would love to hear from you guys. Like, are there any traits that I missed among some of the people that you admire, mentor, look up to, and stuff like that? Like, what are some of the, because there's hundreds of traits. Those were 5 that I saw some commonalities between a lot of different people. Like, what do you guys see out there? Because I view you guys all as leaders, and some of those, I took from you guys, and I see that in your business and stuff like that. So what kind of other traits do you guys see in leaders and people that you guys aspire to be?
Hey Larry, it's Joseph. Good morning.
Hello, Joseph, you go first, and then there was a female somewhere, and I'll get you next.
Yeah, well, thank you. One of the things that I really admire about you, and I'm continuing to try and evolve with my own life, is the protection of time, or like the alignment of my real goals or fundamental values with how I spend my time. My yeses need to be yeses and my nos need to be nos.
Yeah, David Russell, I don't know if he's on here, but he makes fun of me. He's like, you get so much done for a person that doesn't actually work, right? And here's the thing, I just work in a different way, right? Like, I am totally fine kind of sharing that love, but yeah, Joseph, I appreciate that, man. And that's not easy, right? That's something that we constantly have to come back to, because as you get more successful, you also get more opportunities, And if you take advantage of all of those, what made you successful will start dropping off because you're trying to learn this new skill, this new trade, this new this new that. That's not good or bad, right? As long as it's aligned with your goals and stuff at the end of the day. So this is where, you know, I've been offered, oh, let's get you into solar. You got this. And I'm like, I don't want to learn solar. What I have is working well. I'm going to double and triple down and stuff on this. Now, I am looking at title, not because I want to run title, but because I can be a passive investor and invest in a title and escrow company that's also backed by cross-country mortgage that also doesn't use an asset management company to manage their default. You see where I'm going here? Like, I'm willing to invest in that title company, one, to make an investment right now, but to build those relationships and stuff in the future, because my vision of the future is so clear on what we're trying to build and the other strategic alliances and relationships and stuff that we need there. So thank you for that, Joseph Limo. I appreciate you, buddy. Wendy Martin, what's up, girl?
Yeah, you watch how you're talking to me right now, because I appreciate traits of people who don't give away my secrets about going splat on a plane. And I'm currently trying to decide which of your secrets I'm going to share. So
Oh,
you can go on with your stuff and I'll just tell everyone later.
yeah, come on, bring it. Like, this is the interactive part here. Like, what's a trait that you know, that you really like, that you look up to, that you need, or one that we didn't talk about?
I like how you lead with no ego. How's that, Larry? That's a really important trait in this industry. And I didn't expect that from you, but you're all about it. So thank you for that.
It kind of contradicts, right? Like, because the whole Larry motherfucking White came when I had a lot of ego, right? Like, that was a purely based ego. Like, look at me. And it's funny, as I've transitioned and stuff, now I don't know if I can get away. Like, I don't know if I can leave it. Like, literally, I'm sitting here with the number one. I walk into this office with Mark Demas, the number one agent in the country. He's like, let me introduce you guys to Larry motherfucking White. Like, right? Like, I don't know if I could leave it if I didn't want to, but it's definitely a different person, right? I've had to learn a lot of these lessons that we talked about myself and stuff there. And so now it's more funny, right? Like, it kind of takes me back and stuff. And I appreciate that. But
Dude, you're still a motherfucker in my book. Okay. There you go.
I am a little spicy still, for sure. But keep in mind, this is like talking about ego. This is not about me. I'm talking about traits of leaders and stuff like that. So I'm flattered. Thank you. But literally, like, this isn't me. So what traits are we missing, right? What other things do we need to add to this beautiful list here?
Larry, I don't know if maybe this was in there in the finer details, but I think you also do a really good job of pinpointing what the highest return on investment activities are, or like highest dollar in activities. So your prioritization of knowing of the 50 things to do, you are very clear on the top three. And obviously then you can prioritize your time. So again, I don't know if that's in there already, but that's something that comes to mind for me.
I appreciate that, brother. And I will challenge most of you guys, maybe not everybody, but I probably work less hours than any of you guys on a weekly basis. But the hours that I work, I guarantee you I'm running laps around people. Literally, my door is closed. My kids don't come. Like, when the door is closed, like, daddy's work. Like, when I work, like, it is just the dollar productive items that I'm working on. Like, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And that's what I choose to spend my time on. Is this leverage? Is this scalable? Is this everything else? Constantly reevaluating that on a daily basis. See, Robert put in gratitude. And, you know, gratitude is probably the biggest thing that changed my life. Like, realizing everything that I have right now, everything that didn't go the way that I had planned, is the reason that I'm here today. And that's harder to realize when you're in that process. It's easy to look back and talk like, oh, this is the lesson and stuff that I learned. When you're in the moment, be like, damn, I'm really grateful. And sometimes you just got to say it, right? Like, I'm grateful that I learned this lesson, right? Like, I'm grateful to see where this goes. Like sometimes it's really hard to say because you're not happy about it, right? Like, you missed the mark, you missed the goal and stuff like that. But again, you needed that lesson to be able to build back stronger, right? To come back and come to that next level. So I appreciate that one because that one has changed my life for sure there, Robert. And that's why we start with gratitude every single Friday for that reason, because it's changed my life. And sometimes we just need a little reminder that there's some good shit going on. Any other traits? Okay, that's all I got for you today then. I appreciate it. I love all of you guys. If you guys need anything, let me know. Just not on Monday because I will be at my ranch and I will pretty much be MIA on Monday and stuff there. I'll be going up there Sunday, Monday, coming back Tuesday and stuff there and spending some time at Wild Soul Sanctuary. But call, text, email me, let me know. I appreciate all of you guys. And if I can help you grow in any way, you guys let me know. I love you guys to death and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Larry.
You're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Bye,
Larry.
guys. Yes, ma'am.